All right, good evening. It's Wednesday, October 2nd. Welcome to the Road Advisory Committee. Sorry. Got a cramp? Bad chair. Jeez. I know, it's so exciting. Well, it is, Patrick's trip. Oh, okay, I lost my train of thought. Call to order. What time is it? 6:32. Roll call?
David?
Yes, sir.
Patrick?
Here.
Carolyn?
Present.
Ian? Yes, sir.
Present. Present.
That's it, right?
Yeah, Chris Chang is not here tonight, but he will be back and we'll keep him informed. And welcome to David Kluback, our new member.
Yay, David.
Welcome.
Sorry, we flipped you.
Good, that's a good
Do I
thing.
need to get out of the way or something?
Oh, no, it's the
No.
camera facing us. We can see you a little bit.
You're much better tonight in
You
here.
can hide behind it, exactly, that's that.
Probably not a lot, because there's not a lot of people. Adoption of the agenda, and Linda, you wanted to add something?
Suggest an amendment to add discussion of dates for our 2024, 2025 meetings in new business, maybe under H,
I think so.
Yeah.
Yep.
H2.
H2. I would make a motion to amend the agenda to add new business meeting dates. Anyone second?
Second.
Thank you.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Right.
Anybody opposed? Yeah. Good. It's just a card. Okay. Let's see, public comment.
Do you want me to come up?
Sure.
Well, good evening, everybody. And basically, I was here to say to people, I really appreciate this committee and the work and getting rules set. And I remember when it was somewhat reconstituted, Kathy Knoll and a wonderful Mr. Rowley, who was the manager, and the Open Meetings Acts and all the things we've been through. Actually, I've been here since '87, so I've seen a lot and watched a lot. And I'm not political by nature. And I think most of us would rather be private people. But sometimes the call comes out to speak up on whatever issue is affecting where we live. So I just want to say I appreciate that. And I think in the future, I'm very optimistic about Scio Township's elections are better. More people are able to vote. I love Zoom at the meetings because I mostly don't watch it always on Wednesday. You're gonna think I'm insane, but partly due to the pandemic too. I watch every meeting, including LASA, because there's information in there as well that affects all of us, how we're checking for lead, why we have to do expenditures for certain things. And I just want to say, when you get on a committee or you're more public, you get scrutiny. People don't even really know you if you get a 2 or 3 minute snippet. And I believe people on committees shouldn't have any big conflict of interest. That's something I think that'll be worked on in the future. And then I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing your name right, Mr. Kluback?
Correct.
Thank you so much. And I think you have a military background?
I do.
And it's so, I was watching late in the evening, this horrific event that hasn't happened in the mountains since 1916. And thank goodness the military is coming in to help a lot of those people. And that was basically it, is that I wanted to thank you all for being, because you do subject yourself to different issues when you're on a committee. So I appreciate you all doing that. And people running for government is very important. And that was it.
Very nice.
Thank you.
I do appreciate it. Thank you so much. I can't stay this evening. I'll be watching everything. Now, the only glitch, I do want to point something out, is our Scio Township app. Once the meeting starts, you cannot, it doesn't show the login for Zoom. And
On the website?
on the, yeah, that's something that I think some people are aware of, but that's something I think that should be addressed. So let's say you're running late, you can't come and you want to watch live. And for whatever reason. So thank you all.
Thank you.
We have two hands raised. Pam, if you'd like to go next, I will flip the camera.
I can unmute myself. Thank you. I want to also officially welcome David Klubeck to this committee. I'm very excited to see what, with his background, what he brings to the committee. So I'm just excited for all of you to have David with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pam.
And Rob Patterson.
Rob Pattinson, Scio Township resident. Welcome, David. I will echo the other welcomes. We all look forward to your progress on this committee.
Thank you.
Jared Lavinia and Jonathan Berry both wrote very compelling letters to this board in the agenda packet. And I'm ashamed to say, I did not realize that people had to cross major roads to get their mail. I did not notice going down Dexter that most of the mailboxes are on one side. I would like to ask this board to work with the post office to get roads like Miller, Zeeb, Wagner, Liberty, Scio Church, Dexter Miller to have mailboxes in front of people's homes. I know that you can get a medical waiver from the post office to move a mailbox from across the street to in front of your house. Let's do that now for everyone. That poor man losing his life, the poor person that killed him, the poor neighborhood, that was entirely avoidable if we weren't having people crossing major roads just to get their mail. I also note that I think it was Jonathan Berry said that in just this year alone, there have been 4 major accidents in front of their house there. I would also recommend that perhaps a slowdown zone there in front of the Knights of Columbus going from 45 to 35 might be in order because of the blind spots associated with that section. I'm not aware of any other sections off the top of my head in Scio that would require a slowdown zone like that, but that one certainly. So that might be something that this committee can work with the state police to adjust the speed limit along that section. Thank you. Have a good meeting.
Thanks,
Thank you, Rob.
That's all we've got in terms of raised hands.
Oh, which brings us to communications and correspondences. So that's where we find Mr. Lidvina and Mr. Brady's emails to the board regarding the accident on Dexter Ann Arbor Wagner Road. And Mr. Lavina has been emailing the board for well, probably longer than I've been on the board, that's almost 2 years now, regarding lack of sidewalks and the safety issues over in that area. And during the capital improvement plan, budget, so when was that? It has to be February, March, I did bring that up regarding, sidewalks and how we could, who's responsible? We've had this conversation before. Who's responsible for sidewalks over and over again? And also to make sure that we address the issues over there. Matt Parks from OHM, Joyce Parker and I, we went on a field trip around Scio Township and we did travel that area. And the bridge, as you know, just like the bridge over here and the bridge on Baker belongs to MDOT and we cannot touch it. We can't do any, we can't install a wider sidewalk, safety measures or anything because, they don't want to put the money into it. They will, however, make changes if the bridges need to be replaced. So that's when we have the opportunity to voice what we want. But these, the bridges, I think this one was replaced. I don't know, I think, does anybody remember when that was? It wasn't too late. Do you remember, Linda?
Within the last 10 years. But
Yeah.
I don't specifically.
So that's, it's gonna last a while. So the same with the bridge over on, Wagner Road, right by Elizabeth Street. There, we won't be able to make any changes. However, we could, make changes. There could be sidewalks installed over, yeah, along Dexter, Ann Arbor, Wagner Road, and then the bridge going towards Ann Arbor because there's a sidewalk on the other side. So when it comes to budget time or in capital improvement, I think we need to bring this up. It's unfortunate that this happened to this gentleman.
But is that part of Dexter Road a county highway? Does it fall directly under jurisdiction that it can't be changed? Or is that one of the ones that falls under the new Public Act 24?
Well, it's a collector road. It's still owned by the county, but, if we had a plan for sidewalks, then we could, because that's in the right of way and the, road commission does not cover sidewalks at all. However, what they will cover, the crosswalks across the road. And if there's an ADA ramp or whatever that needs to be taken care of, so we may be able to.
The second ask was if that we could try and help them create a slower zone in that area.
Yes, there was a bill that was passed.
Act 33 in April.
Yeah, but when I read through it, it didn't give us much more power, but it's not cut and dry. So I tried calling the person that created the bill and they never returned my phone call.
Well, it
And-
speaks specifically to county highway. It doesn't speak to
Right.
local road, and this is not a county highway. This is just a.
Well, they made it sound
Collector
like in the bill that they, were presenting that they would give local jurisdictions more power.
What it appears to say, though, is a traffic study has to be performed before you can even make the application to make the change. And having done a traffic study in the past, I can tell you that it is in excess of $5,000 to have one.
I'm sorry, in excess of 5,000?
Yes. And so it's not petty cash. Doesn't mean it's not worthwhile ever, but we don't have a budget at this point in time. We can certainly, I guess, put in requests for certain items of budget for the next years, but traffic engineering study has to be done.
So we'll look into it and see what we can do. What was the other,
What about the mailbox? Because this accident was this person going to the mailbox.
yes,
So
Pretty terrible going to my mailbox. I have to, go carefully.
Yours is across the street too, isn't it?
It is, and people come down westbound in
Yeah.
excess of 50 miles an hour where I live, so. Pay close attention.
Is there anything we can do about getting these mailboxes on that street mode? Is that an easier fix than the sidewalk?
Yeah.
Well, it means
know.
postal carriers have to make a second loop. Can ask the postmaster,
Didn't Rob say there was a way to do that?
medical waiver. I don't know, I've never heard of it.
Yeah. Well,
That's what it says.
look into it and see what we can do. Yeah, maybe it's gonna take a petition.
Petition of the neighbors.
Could be the neighbors, could be the whole community, because that's not the only, like Linda's. Liberty, there's other ones that are, yeah, you would have to walk across the street. Trying to think of,
Illness,
Yeah, I have to walk across the
handicap,
street
or
from mine.
present a physical challenge, which makes it difficult for an individual to retrieve mail. USPS website.
well, with the wider roads, maybe not so much the neighborhood roads, but the wider, busier roads, especially if there's a blind spot.
There's visibility issues.
Yeah. Do you have to walk across the street for yours?
No,
I do,
Just,
I do.
you do?
Yeah, but
yeah, our road's super quiet. but-
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
55 miles an hour down Scio Church. You're trying to dodge traffic back and forth to get your mail at cars coming at Scio Church, and that's relatively busy road.
Yeah.
It's not like it's 35 or 40, it's 55, and that's going.
In the wintertime, people are getting, is the dark and dark.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said.
There's East Delhi dead ends into Miller. And there's a house right there across East Delhi, and her mailbox is right there, but there's a hill right there. So it actually makes turning left onto Miller, you have to be real careful because they come screaming up that hill and you can't see them until it's pretty late. I think that running across that road right there to get your mailbox would be like that.
Well, it appears that we could bank the letters and see if we can request funds for a traffic study, but looking at this new bill that was presented, we would have to make a meeting with the Washtenaw County Road Commission and a township representative and a traffic study to request a speed limit change in that area.
Mhm. Okay. What was the act again?
Act 33, April of 2024.
Okay.
So it pays the speed limits.
But you're right, it's, as so many of them are written, not very clear.
Yeah.
But my question is, would that just be for that specific road where the incident occurred?
Yeah.
Or would that be for Scio Township, the multiple, the Millers, the Seaves, the Scio Church, Dexter?
It's speaking to, it wants a traffic study for any stretch that you want to have speed limit changed. So multiple traffic studies perhaps, but
So that doesn't speak to Rob's suggestion of somehow making this change township wide for people who.
the post office is actually ratcheting back their delivery. If you can't easily get a new mailbox request for a private mailbox, so to try and get them to change it to the other side of the road because it would be safer for you is, you could ask, but
Well, I wonder if people just move their own mailboxes, what would they do? I mean,
They may not.
but they're like, oh, wait a minute. I
Yeah.
hope you get a new carrier that
I don't think
doesn't.
you could suggest that.
Yeah.
Way to not get your bill, see all kinds of
Yeah.
junk mail.
Speed limit wise, this was Wagner at Ann Arbor, Dexter
Thanks,
Road.
Brian.
right? Now, that's a 40 limit until you hit the bridge, then it turns to 45 going south. So it's already a 40 limit until you hit the intersection.
So
Pull Wagner
going-
from Miller, the roundabout,
Yeah,
you take Wagner down towards the bridge, that's 40 limit. It's already a 40, it's not a 55 or a 45. I don't say, I take it when I go to I-94. You take Wagner down
So it's 45.
there. Oh, it's 40.
Still
It turns
pretty
to,
fast.
it turns to 45
Yeah,
at the bridge.
But the accident was on Dexter, not on Wagner. But I don't know what is Dexter west of Wagner.
Yeah.
What's the speed
It
limit
was
on
on a different
Dexter?
road.
I think it's
Oh, Wag-
45.
Dexter is 45. What could you walk across, Wagner or Dexter?
Dexter.
Dexter, yeah,
Dexter.
right, you know where the KFC. Old camp, well, it's a camp, was a campground. I guess it's there is a curve there and then a hill,
Mhm.
or you're coming upward. It's, yeah, it's pretty dangerous. There's a lot of traffic issues. I'm surprised it hasn't happened before.
Where is it?
So it'd be, if you look at, so Wagner and Dexter Ann Arbor, but Dexter Ann Arbor going west.
Yeah.
And it's right around,
Sorry, only we can see this.
see, there's a curve there, but this is kind of hilly, so
Okay,
it's
yeah.
in there somewhere.
Oh.
Mile west of Wagner.
Yeah, because this is I think it was this.
Hmm.
One of those two.
Down the whole sweeping.
They're kind
So I think they were coming from this area that way.
line curve here slightly, yeah.
Yeah, and they were doing the speed limit, by the way.
The driver was doing the speed limit.
Tragic.
Looking at it from a different perspective, I don't understand, or I don't know the demographics of Scio Township in the sense of what is the average or mean age? And there's a growing older population, I was just listening to Debbie Dingle talking about serving seniors and trying to make it a more user-friendly environment for seniors. How old was the gentleman? It sounded like he was
66.
He's not a spry person who can, sprint across. So can it be approached from a different perspective and say, if you have people, rather than the road itself, but people in the demographics of that area that are seniors or that are older, 65 and up, do we want to see if it can change the speed limit or the way the mailbox is presented
Oh.
based on the population, the age population, the demographics of that specific neighborhood or that specific area? I don't see a lot of Gen X's or Gen Z's living in my neighborhood. I see a lot of people look like me. So if there's a chance to approach it from that perspective and say, the demographics of the area don't facilitate people of that age walking across highways at 50 miles an hour.
That's a good point, yeah. Okay, thank
It's-
you. I wrote.
It's very blind, isn't it?
Yeah, see right there.
Yeah, I just moved it unfortunately.
And the person that hit
Now,
him was
let me just
elderly.
Let me go back to where I was.
So I don't know. But
You got that
it
basically.
was reported that they were.
what is that street that's
They were doing the speed limit
I
and they
don't
just
know.
came around the curb and
See it,
he was
but-
walking, but looking at his mail. And
He was looking at his mail.
So that's east of Wagner, right?
it would be west.
West.
Wagner, yeah.
Half a mile, 3/4 of a mile.
But that intersection there, right by Elizabeth, between Elizabeth and Dexter Ann Arbor, there's a bus stop.
Mhm.
And then there's another one on the other side where there's not a house, there's just that empty, there's a bus stop over there. So those people have to walk across the street to get to those bus stops, but they don't have pads. So when the snow plow comes through, there's a foot of snow and they have to stand up on, the foot of snow to wait for the bus.
Or in the street.
Or in the street,
yeah.
yes. So, I mean, there's things that we can do too, but it's gonna take a little bit of planning and,
One of the problems there, if I get the location right, is that was the original plan for the bike path that's not going down Zeeb. But they studied it, it was too narrow. You're in people's yards. And it's just too narrow to put a sidewalk in there. So that's another part of the problem.
unless they agree to the sidewalk,
Right.
they'd have to
Yeah.
accept an easement, but with as many problems as there are over there, more than maybe, you may get somebody that says, no way. Yeah,
All it takes is one person to really bollocks things up.
yeah, and if the right of way, because it's a Class A road, I believe the right of way, it begins in the center of the road and it's 33 feet, so that easement belongs to the road commission and they wouldn't have a choice.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, sometimes they build the houses so close to the easement that, or the road has shifted over time and it ends up in your front, by your front door, but. Okay, anything, let's see, oh, and I did, as you can see, I did email Tom Bloom and Lisa Tulin Silver to give them a heads up that the Laurentide would be. The project will begin their 25-year wait for their.
Now finally
painting.
over.
Yeah,
Added those to our database of communications.
yeah, if Lisa's already in there, or, well, just the communication itself, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
So how do we conclude this discussion on the Dexter wagon?
It's a difficult nut to crack because the only way that we as a body could make a substantive change would be to try and get traffic study and then request meetings with the road commission and then the state police to try and get speed limit changed.
But when an accident like this happens, and state police were there, sheriffs was there, do they initiate any activity with WCRC or NDOT or anybody? Who takes up the charge?
they just make a report, the local government would.
Being
Us.
our board of trustees?
Well, it would begin here and everything that we decide or want to pursue would have to go in front of the board. I mean, well, we could call the post office and make a request. I mean, at least the worst they can say is no, and then we'll go to the next idea or step.
Well, what I'm thinking is you review the area with people that can make a change and come up with a plan. That a part of it may be the post office, another part may be speed limit changes or something else. I don't know. We're not traffic engineers,
Mhm.
but getting the right department involved and saying, this is the issue.
Yeah.
Let's walk it or drive it or whatever
Don't walk it.
and say, how do we
No, it wasn't a joke. I mean,
Seriously.
like,
how do we solve the problems? Here we had a fatality. People are complaining about this and that and the other thing. What can we do? What can we brainstorm and what can we do?
get
And
people in the
who
room.
is it that can do something? That we can talk to the right authority figure rather than just jawbone.
Yep.
Well,
Get
you
people
can
in the room.
What?
Get people in the room and lock the door.
Postmaster will make appointments to have discussions.
So in my mind, if you have you had an accident like this fatality, someone's gotta take the bull by the horns and say, hey, this isn't right. We need to see if there's something we can do so we don't have another fatality.
I have a question about if there was a traffic study on Dexter and Never Road, would that traffic study have boundaries, say Wagner to Zeeb?
They usually, yeah, draw a circle and say it's this zone that these intersections.
I imagine the wider the zone, the more the expensive the traffic study.
But I wonder, and I can't remember, the people who brought forward the rezoning request for the Knights of Columbus site that were trying to buy it and subdivide it,
Oh, they did
would have had a traffic study. And that was something that came up within the last 12 months. So
that'd be in their file.
it would be in their file. If they did indeed go that far as to have a traffic study. I can't remember if they came forward to the board or to the planning commission with a formal application to rezone, but I think they did. So there probably is
You know, something as simple as road counting. Where you put the humps in the road or the flat plates in the road. You've seen that, Barton Hills has got that.
but that's a private road. This is a Washtenaw County road.
I'm just getting to where I wanna solve the problem. without restrictions. There are ways to engineer it and do things. That's all I'm saying, and you get the right people involved and the right person to say, we're not going to have another fatality in this area. What are we gonna do about it?
We would definitely have to start with the road commission because they own roads. Yeah,
And find out if it's possible and what the parameters are, the costs. And then make a proposal to the board for the study.
No,
What
but
steps would be.
There may be a study in
yeah, it's
record.
already.
I can't remember what the name of the proposal was that was brought to the planning commission, but somebody asked recently if they could get water extended out there and if they could subdivide that.
Mhm. Yeah, we've just called it the KFC property or project, even though that's not the name of the project.
What I've done in the past is gone to the desk and asked Fran to pull the box, and they literally bring you a box, and then you have to sit down and you go through it. Fortunately, I'm not able to get here during the day to do that, so
Bob, would you be willing to do that?
to see if there is a traffic study
Sure.
in existence, if there
How-
was,
how
it
do I
would
do
be
it?
good.
Well, we would just have Fran pull the KFC box, project box, and then you can,
See if there's
Call
a
it,
recent
pull it,
one,
and when you know when it's available.
because if we
I'll-
had one, then we can make an
I'll
appointment
look at
with
the box.
the road
Okay.
commission, we can get somewhere.
I'm looking for a traffic study.
yeah.
Probably Fleiss and Vanderbrink,
What was the name?
probably Fleiss and Vanderbrink,
Place
F
and,
and V. See on the cover.
what was the last one?
Vanderbrink, Vanderbrink.
Those are the folks that did the study.
They do almost all of the traffic studies that are presented in Washington County. They are the firm.
You have my email. Tell her to send me an email when it's available.
Mhm.
I'll show her.
Okay. And she'll set you up in a cubby or something, or whatever room is available. Great, okay. Well, let's at least begin there.
Thanks for pushing us a little bit.
Mhm.
Well, talking and being sympathetic doesn't pay the bulldog, okay?
You're exactly right.
This has got to be a systemic problem, not only in Scio Township. I mean, Washington County Road Commission has to have the same experiences in all, in the different townships and all throughout the county. So maybe it's something, there's merit in bringing it up to Washington County Road Commission and get their perspective, seeing what Barb has to say about it, or what, Matt or Adam or that team over there.
Yeah, maybe, lowering the speed limits for all connector roads or different types of roads, because, the rural gravel roads are 55. No matter,
Or no speed limit, yeah.
yeah, that's crazy.
Just
Yeah.
nuts.
Like
State.
Park Road where I live, there's a lot of houses and it's 55. People just, now the road I live on is 25, but not that one.
Yeah.
It's just,
I'm just saying, maybe Washington County Road Commission has experience in this based on other townships, based on other requests. I would be glad to broach it with them or
yeah, so that's actually on the agenda. Um,
I've had several conversations with Roy about this, and we just talked to somebody the other day, I can't remember who it was, who wanted the roads, speed limit changed. And it's set by state law. In order to get it changed, you have to go to the state police, and they are uninterested in changing speed limits.
But there's this new act that was adopted in April of this year that says
What
that
you were
if,
just talking about.
yes,
Okay.
that if you bring a traffic study and the township official and the Washington County Road Commission official, you still have the state police as the third leg of the stool, but the more prepared you can come forward,
Which is
better. So here we have two letters. If we can find a traffic study that would substantiate whether they feel that road is a dangerous road or not for speed limit, because they would be talking directly about, in that study, the KFC pulling out onto the road.
we could pull the accident law as well, going back 5 years, 10 years.
And then you walk in, you'd say, I'd like to discuss a change, and here is why. Much harder to say no.
You have a lot of power, you have a lot of momentum behind your presentation, yeah.
Well, maybe we should go back 8 years because COVID, everybody was
That's probably a good idea. Yeah, that's probably pretty smart.
Pam wrote in the chat, I recall there was a traffic study for the for the KFC property. The study said no changes were needed. Just FYI.
And so that project, there was 46 homes that were proposed, and we assumed there would be 2 cars per home. So they're saying that no changes when we already have issues, and then another 80, 90 more vehicles in that area, right there at the curb. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, we'll have to pull the study and see.
The township will make copies for you, otherwise you have to hand the study back to them and put it in the box. And I believe they charge 25 cents a page.
Just tell them you need it for the road advisory committee. They won't charge you. Yeah. Okay. Anything else for this correspondences? For now? Well, I'll put this back on the agenda for November, and we'll discuss it some more, see what we can do. Oh, the next topic, tasks and action items update. So went through from the last meeting and just made some notes. I'm keeping them from just to see our progress. So we had any article ideas, the next deadline for newsletter submission is December 2nd, so keep that in mind. You know, we have one more meeting until so we would, wait a minute, we're in October already. Okay, then we have one meeting in November and then turn around and submit our article for December. I mean, it could just be, this is what we're doing, what we plan on doing, what we've accomplished, something like that.
Yeah.
And that'll be, so this newsletter was focused around the fire department and the millage. So we only got a little blurb in there. The chief did appreciate our idea for the cutting back, or making sure your address is visible. But I think we're due for a nice article for the next time. The road and culvert inventory lists for our potential millage proposal. So the southeast and southwest areas, Ian, did Roy contact you?
Roy has been great, and anything that didn't happen is my fault. I have a meeting with him scheduled for October 14th. And he'll talk me through the process. So I was kind of hoping I'd get to it sooner, and I just didn't.
Okay,
So once I've got that, hopefully I can flush the rest of it out fairly quickly. So, yeah.
okay, good. Go ahead.
Question, when Roy presented the Northeast, there was lots of document, I mean, it was a hefty, there were multi-page stuff. And then I seem to remember Northwest was just like one blurry spreadsheet.
Have to talk to Ian or ask Ian about that.
Spreadsheet, I have it.
Cause at the meeting, we're in what, October, so I wasn't here September, so it was August, I think. That was presented, the Northwest, and all we had was like this blurry PDF that we were looking at. And
So that was included in the packet, you mean?
Yeah, huh?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that there's something that's certainly much more like readable because
Well,
that was completely on it.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out from Roy is what's the source of information that he's using?
But even that particular document that was attached, that blurry PDF, there's gotta be a clear version of that somewhere.
That was a Granicus issue because when we try and upload the Excel spreadsheets into Granicus to embody it, it wants to split it into about 10 pages. And so you can't really. So.
And yet there were clear attachments for the Northeast.
How did, okay, so the,
In the agenda packet.
When Roy did the presentation of the Northeast quadrant. There was a spreadsheet, there were lists of roads, I mean, there were multiple documents. And that would have been probably what, July or June or,
I think the lists of roads weren't specific to Northeast. He pulled Northeast out of them, but I think that was a township wide list.
I just, and I might be wrong, but I just seem to remember
let's
having,
go back to, what did you say? Was it July or?
I don't know, I don't remember exactly where that,
Okay, here's the Northeast in July.
was it July?
Yes. July. Well, and so this isn't really, I mean,
Okay, but
it's
keep
just,
going, roll down.
Oh.
See what I'm talking about? I mean, and you keep rolling down and there's more and more and more. And then the Northwest was just one little blurry pick. I'm just saying, the two very, very different reports, Northeast and Northwest.
and then
You
the
know what I'm
other,
saying?
so let me look at the August. Yeah, August is the Northwest.
And that's it. That's all there is, as opposed to the Northeast, which had pages and pages of stuff.
Yeah, so this is a JPEG, that's why. And the other one was,
But the other one had more data, not just a spreadsheet.
oh, I see, yeah.
See what I'm saying? So to me, those two are very different in the kind and quantity and type
So-
of information that it was relaying.
What he did in July was, yeah, that was the Excel spreadsheet and the top of it. I believe. Well, it's partial, looks like there's some missing, but for the township-wide SAD, that was the project list for that
Okay,
at the top, and then the rest he included for the northeast.
so that right there on your screen is the Northeast.
Yes, so it looks like this was the, yeah, there is a lot more here.
So I'm just saying that the two presentations for Northeast and Northwest are very, very different in the amount of information that it contained. And I'm just, and it could just be that all you need is the little spreadsheet blurb readable, not the JPEG for Northwest.
So that's the thing, you can't upload.
But
And with this one, well, I guess, I don't know how
he
he
did something
this.
there to
Yeah.
make that very readable.
So we're gonna leave that to Ian to figure that out.
I'm sorry, Ian.
Thanks, Caroline.
I love you.
Yeah, because on the way.
But you see what I'm saying? I mean, just the sheer quantity of data. Now, it could be that the Northeast was overkill. He included a lot of stuff that wasn't necessary perhaps. And the Northwest was a little bit more fine tuned. I couldn't even read the Northwest, so I didn't even know what I was looking at.
Yeah, so this one, he has, years, 2020 all the way to 2030. And let's see,
Like I said, it could contain, the Northeast could contain stuff that we don't really need to be worrying about for this particular project. It may have just been like a dump rather than that whole presentation. I'm just saying, there could be some, if all the pages of stuff that are in there, you keep going and rolling down, there's more of this, there's more of that. It could just be stuff that isn't pertaining to the particular project.
well, these are
Possibly.
though, because these are neighborhood subdivision roads that are public that we need to know. And this has the road name, the section they're found.
And you see, this is what was missing from the Northwest completely, all of this. From the Northwest presentation that he left us with.
You sure?
I only have the one thing on the
I've got
northwest.
this. This is the spreadsheet. And in
Well, it
here-
wasn't in the agenda packet, because in the agenda packet, there's only the blurry thing.
But this has got these segments. Okay,
Is that the northwest?
well, I think you have to figure it out by section.
What,
I think it's all in the same spreadsheet.
But that was in the northeast presentation?
Yeah, it's like the combination of the northeast and the northwest.
so
Okay.
he included the northwest after he finished the northeast.
Yeah.
And now we need the other two sections, so whatever he had.
And this project, for lack of a better term, I'm just gonna call it the Roy project. How is that different than what I'm doing?
The Roy project is to figure out, it's the building the foundations for the Scio Township wide, whatever we do, millage.
Mhm,
I'm not gonna say the SAD word, you know.
mhm.
It's figuring out what we got and what we need to maintain. So it's all the data that we need to get ready for that. So at some point, we'll have to like come up with like a ranking of the road condition and stuff like that. So that year by year, we know what roads to target.
And
So
then,
it's like the old SAD that had like a list of roads. There was maybe like 20,
Mhm.
20, 30 roads.
Those are kind of-
This is everything. And
Okay.
this is just trying to get the data. Like, what have we got? What roads have we got? What do we need to maintain? So
and
it's
then
just,
my piece is to get the historical
Yep.
Right, because
stuff, I mean, to find out when was it last touched?
We're also looking for private roads as well,
Right.
and when they were built.
not yet,
Not
ju-
yet.
Oh, this is okay,
Yeah, this is
stage
just-
two, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, so,
but
just the
where we're
public.
going with this is we're looking for the, like, let's say that the millage is approved. Where do we need to start?
Right.
What are the most pressing
right,
things?
right.
And then what we'll do with it from there is we'll start building out, like, 10 years out. Here's a maintenance schedule for the roads,
Okay,
but we don't have any of that right now. So
Well, we
that's,
have, yeah,
we have some of it.
a little bit,
all right.
so,
So I continue plodding on, trying to, once and getting a list of. Anyway, yes, plodding on and getting the history of work done.
so when you find information on roads that have had maintenance or improvements in the past and,
Right.
or whenever they were built, because they may not have ever had any
Right,
maintenance or, so that all that information, would there be a history next to all those roads?
okay. So my stuff will just be an added piece of this database.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Yep.
I understand
I
now.
expect at some point we'll
It's-
add it here or somewhere,
Okay,
you know.
And hopefully on our website, so anybody can access it.
Oh, that would
We
be
don't have to
nice.
print it off in a million sheets and be confused.
That printing, there's probably a better way,
Printing?
like printing spreadsheets to the packet.
Well, okay, if we print a spreadsheet, I think did I take it out? I found one the other day. Yeah, I guess we do have, I'll have Christy do it. She'll know how to figure it out on the printer.
It wants to do it so tiny
Yeah,
in order to fit in the amount of data that we had too many columns.
There's some scaling and there's some tricks.
yeah. Yeah, they did that with the budget too, and on this great big piece of paper, and
right.
then the margins were like this on each side, and the.
So, it is tricky, but there are ways around it.
Okay, so you will be meeting with Roy
Monday, October,
14th.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for the next, the capital improvement plan, the board will be meeting, I think in December, to review our capital improvement plan. By law, we're supposed to be doing that every year. We want to make sure we do it in December because our budget is due by the end of March. So we need to come up with a budget, even though we don't have the funding, but around $400,000. And we also, so part of the budget and the capital improvement plan is to look at our culverts, the culverts that, I couldn't find the map on WCRC. They used to have a map that showed Scio Township culverts and then they would grade them. I can't find that. I gave up after about a half hour. But if anybody can find that map, please send it to me and I will include that somewhere. So we have it for the future. So if there's, well, we had 2 culverts that were paid for and replaced under ARPA funds this year. There was one more that it's a large project that will be next year, ARPA funds, so those are covered, but I thought there was a couple of others that were in fair condition. They weren't bad yet, but we need to start planning and putting money aside for those to be replaced in the future. So I included that here.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
So this $400,000, where would that money come from?
Well, Clerk Jess Flintoff has brought up about the general funds. She doesn't want the roads to just not, like we have to wait until the millage or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, so if it's 400,000 plus the 100,000 grant, we should be able to do quite a few roads.
Right.
But that's up to us to create the list.
Make the case.
Yeah, and then of course, WCRC is gonna have their list and we'll have to match. Yeah, so I'm glad about that. Now, Chris Chang looked into talked with OHM, but also the OHM connected us with WCRC, so we're kind of going in a circle here regarding the GIS system, which is a possibility. The utilities department, OHM is helping them with theirs. And that would be Scio Township's GIS system. So eventually we could have one for roads. But WCRC mentioned something called roadsoft.com. And it's similar to what we're looking for, is for a software system. I haven't delved into it deeply, but I think if any of you want to go there and look into it, please let us know. Chris did look into it a little bit, but he's being pulled in many different directions with lots of projects. Yes,
I look at it as it's a big website. It has a lot of different tabs. I didn't go to all the detail.
so is there something that we can download and use? Because that's the way they made it sound like. Because if it's something we can download, I don't know how we would connect it to our system. But let's say we did want to go with a GIS system. It's from what Brandon had said, utility director, said it was
Well, that
about
was
$5,000 for OHM to set up the GIS for him. But then it comes back to, we have to budget that one. Actually, you know what? I'll put that right under the budget. With a question mark. Okay, some of these I have already pulled and put onto the main agenda, but this is just a good refresher to go over. Oh. Well, Linda has the calendars in here, but we're gonna work on that tonight. History of maintenance, okay, we talked about, Caroline, you already brought that up, that's awesome. Oh, so David, you have been attending the road commission meetings. They're twice a
month,
twice a month. Is that something that you're interested in?
absolutely.
Oh, great. Okay, well, should we vote on David as the township
I
liaison?
would be our liaison.
It would be really valuable if we had someone from the committee that was able to go to those meetings and inform us about what's going on.
I second.
Okay. I guess a voice vote, right? There's no, finances involved. It's all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Position? No, okay. Now, David's wife isn't here,
I was
so.
gonna say Renee might go like, wow.
Great, okay.
The WCRC meeting?
Yes.
They also have a, Pam Boyd told me she's attended them. On Wednesdays, they have, like, you can chat with somebody.
They do.
Kind of
It's-
a
it's
chit
on the-
chat,
Oh, it's-
yeah.
yeah, okay, oh,
It's on the
good.
very bottom, they have a.
Oh, and the virtual chat.
Yeah, virtual chat, and it's the 2nd, the 9th, the 16th, the 23rd, and the 30th, and each commissioner trustee represents some
Oh.
different day.
Oh, that's really cool.
I've attended a few of those. Those are over Zoom. Those are real interesting. It's nice to be able to ask questions.
Yeah,
Stuff to say, like what's going on here and there, so on. They're good.
get more time than a public comment period.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
You can have a conversation too.
Right.
You can actually,
I
there's
got the
dialogue. Yeah.
Distinct impression there was not a lot of dialogue. They had a few people call in, but majority of the people indicated that they sat on the phone for an hour and nobody called in.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
So it's all the more time for us.
So the regular or the board meetings, or, so there's a board meeting and a working session? Or they're at the same,
No, there's one at 9 o'clock in the morning, and that's more the HR department gets in and they talk about issues within their organization and that type of thing. And then the 1 o'clock on that day is both of them are open to the public, but 1 o'clock is more talking about the whole, the road work. That director of operations gets up and talks, the managing director gets up and talks, the highway engineer gets up and talks. So, it's more what's really happening on the ground, where the 9 o'clock meeting is what's happening kind of internally with their personnel and those types of things.
okay. Question?
It would be a good idea, I ask both of you, a good idea for David to produce a short report like we have for PPP and that just is part of the packet.
I actually reflected on that and said, they're working on Jackson Road.
Yeah.
Every other township, they're talking about, we're doing this, we're doing this. They get to Scio Township and it's Jackson Road.
So there may be times later where there's more substance.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, then we'll come back.
So, yes, and Patrick sends
Good
out an
suggestion,
email, when do you send that out?
Usually about 8 days to 10 days before the meeting.
Okay, and then he'll give you a time frame to get your report in and.
So I'll just include you on that list, and if there's no report, no report.
Perfect.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is Brent got up and said that they had finished pouring all the cement for Jackson Road. And that was like yesterday, and this morning I was driving down Jackson Road and they were pouring cement. So he may have been a little preemptive in his report.
Optimistic.
Yes, optimistic, thank you.
And when will they finish? Did they say?
You said October.
Yeah,
Well, it's
There's an
October.
email
and
that
they're
came out
still-
today.
Yeah.
And the email also said they were finished pouring concrete.
they were doing it this morning, trust me, I was there. But I'm curious if they're going to start on the other side. They've done the
This
west side,
round.
now they're gonna do the east side.
Not this round, from what I understood. But,
Gotta let it cure a few days.
yeah, please don't drive over it.
They've had that,
No, I
Yeah,
couldn't
they
believe
did
that.
that.
I couldn't believe that when I read that.
Yeah,
not just
they were
once.
impatient, wanted to.
Not just once?
And then,
no, on one side, it happened 3 times, and on the other side, it happened 5 times.
Cow.
they caught some of them. We've got
Good.
cameras or whatever, but yeah, they're impatient, they wanna get where they, but then we have to do that whole section over again, which delays the.
Hopefully they got a lot of concrete in the
Jeez.
threads.
Right.
It's just so frustrating.
It is,
Microsoft said it's free for Michigan agencies.
yeah,
I just looked at it.
for the
It
road
just-
soft.
Yeah,
We'll have to figure out how to grab it for us. It's free.
Just download it.
That'd be a great job for Chris.
Okay.
Sorry, I digress. I was just looking.
Okay. Anything else up to this point? Okay, moving ahead. Let's see, special assessments, nuts and bolts. Public is with the legal team. Yes.
Yep.
So I did meet with Mariah, Attorney Fink, and she answered the questions. She, based on her experience, she said 65% for petition signatures, 65%, yeah, for a petition, 65% of the parcel owners within that district is good. And it's pretty common in other districts. Yeah, it's better than the 51%. That way we have the majority that really want that or don't want that, however. Now, regarding the delinquent tax, she did not find that in the statute either. And the more, I mean, we talked it out because I said, well, is there any other statute? There is delinquent down at the bottom, like if you miss your payments, that's the only time. And she said it wouldn't be fair let's say you have a neighborhood of 10 parcels and one parcel is behind on their mortgage. Or taxes, I mean.
Yeah.
Which probably their mortgage too at the same time, but then the rest of the neighborhood gets to vote in favor of a SAD, but then that parcel would still have to pay. So that would be eliminating somebody's right to vote. So if you are delinquent, more than likely, I mean, you would still get the vote or to sign or not, but for us to say, no, you can't. So that answered that question. It made sense after she explained.
Yeah, I think that's, I mean,
But
yeah,
it's not in that statute, so I don't know if it's in a different statute or a different, maybe road commission statute, 246, but I don't know. That's not, we don't have to worry about that. Anyway, so those two items are answered and she's going through the flow charts updated. Thank you, Ian and Bob.
sweet.
And it's over there. We're just waiting for it to come back. Once it comes back, we can put it in front of the board.
Is that gonna happen sometime in November, you think? Or do you think it might happen?
Probably in front of the board in November. Yeah,
Yay,
yeah. She has a lot of to do right now with
that would be delightful. Then that would finish that darn thing.
so we can begin on the private road.
Then we can dig in on the private road.
Yeah.
Boy.
And then we'll hit the policies later on.
Okay.
And still waiting for replies regarding the revolving fund fiasco.
From the county.
No, from the finance director, PM Gap. They have to go through the whole mess. And then while I was with Attorney Fink, I did discuss with her about the resolutions for to return the engineering costs to Lamplighter and Park Ridge drives. And she asked me to come up with something. I have all the parcel numbers and to put it together and then send it over to her. She's gonna polish it up in legalese, however she does that. It's also, there's one step that's already been completed and I do have all the parcel list or the parcel to both parcel lists from our assessor Garrett. So it's just a matter of putting this together.
Yay.
I did find out the tax, or the deadline to get this onto the tax bill for their return, November 19th, so we have a little bit of time. DDA. So we did meet with the DDA, and it's been so crazy. I was like, what did we talk about? I know we talked about roads, but and you haven't met since then.
No, we don't meet again until November, so the gist of it was Bob, Jillian and I sat in front of the DDA, and I'm a member of the DDA, and I sort of tried to preface it by saying the DDA is discussing creating a road committee. We already have a road committee. We should make some sort of a group where we have several people from each committee and try and create, again, this list of roads that we think should be improved. We, Scio Township, take a look at what Washtenaw County Road Commission brings us. And then see if there are changes, improvements, thoughts. And so the ideas seemed to float well, but we need to create the DDA committee members or identify them at the next DDA meeting.
Yeah, and what does the DDA want to do? That's because there was still that kind of like, they weren't sure. I mean, they've been talking about a road committee, but they really haven't settled on that idea. Is that what it is? Or it wasn't, nothing was, or it didn't seem.
The
I should
idea is
say.
that we're trying to collaborate together instead of just acting as two separate trains on
Okay.
parallel tracks. But one train is more residential and roads that are connector roads within the township. The other is specifically commercial roads, commercial business, small roads,
Yes, along,
Jackson Road.
Jackson Road.
Specifically.
and so well, and when we have a millage, eventually then the DDA will be capturing 50% of the millage within that district. So it would make, and I know that you're doing this with other, like the pathways. So you capture 50% of the pathway millage and then you're putting money into the pathways. And if the DDA can do the same thing with the roads,
Then we
that
don't have to
50%.
ask for general funding. We've got.
or, right, because we shouldn't have to pay the full, out of our full millage for the roads within that when they're capturing the 50%.
So that would be the second policy we're trying to establish is how would we treat those funds? But this is assuming that a millage was passed, which has not even been proposed or put onto
Right.
a election yet. So this is a 2025 looking forward use of funds to make sure that we are planning correctly.
So the DDA has paid for, or I'm thinking of all the roads, the side roads in the DDA. All of them have been, well, Dino and Medi are, I think this month, repaved, right? Yeah, pretty bad. But, I can't think of any other road that needs improvement at this time because April Drive was,
Stabler, the spur Stabler, that's
well, that's kind
the
of,
north spur of off
Oh.
of Jackson Road down towards. I don't know if you've ever been into the Kiwanis,
oh yeah,
but 500 cars a weekend or something. There are a couple small ones still. 3Ls is, I think, actually a private drive.
oh, that's private?
The sign is private, 3Ls drive. Which is, as you're going down towards Tractor Supply, it's a south spur off of Jackson Road. There's a couple of other roads that, you know, the argument is they're dead end roads off of a major artery that are only used by businesses that are there. Do they deserve to be improved? What does it get us to do the improvement as a township if we're using township funds?
And it makes more sense if there is a millage and the DDA is capturing that 50% to put it right back into their roads. But we're not there yet. So for right now, so Medi Drive is pretty long and there's a lot of traffic there. Dino Drive, not so, I mean, there's a park head at the end. But there's also that company that has heavy trucks at the end. Yeah.
So the hope is that we can create a subcommittee between the two Roads Advisory Committee and DDA to discuss road collaboration specifically to the every December, looking at what roads we're trying to get improved by Washtenaw County Road Commission in the following year, what the funds are that are available, what other funds we might be able to find, and starting to prepare towards the millage, how the millage funds could be allocated most efficiently and with a plan. We're not there yet, but hopefully we can create a subcommittee.
Well, I'll be attending the next meeting and then after that, every other meeting because I will be on the DDA. As,
I still contend these roads off Jackson Road that are only for commercial use, they should cover it themselves. It should not come out of Scio Township.
The business owners.
The business owners. And I told him that at the meeting. And Stite said, you know what he said. He could understand the logic, but
yeah, it's tricky because they are local roads that are owned by the county and the county can't pay for them on their own. We have to contribute, or the other thing is, and I think a lot of it has to do with education because, for example, on Dino Drive, they said, well, our taxes cover that. And no, taxes do not pay for roads, not like that, not the local. There's different levels, but when it comes to local, we have to pay for that if we choose to, because we don't have to. So you've got a point,
and I made the point to Stites. I said, you chose to do business in Scio.
Bob Stites is the chairman of the DDA.
Yeah. This is your cost of doing business. It's your road. It's not Scio's residence road. You guys gotta handle it.
I think it dovetails into the next line item, which is the Scio Township Road Agreement. Looking at the 2024 and contemplating how the funds in 2025 could be, should be. Or did I skip it?
well, where are we?
I've got public outreach and communication plan next.
Yeah, we're in the task and action item updates, but we can move on. Move to discussion and then the public outreach, the communication plan. I don't know what we could do about that at this point. We do definitely need to have Public Act 188. And also, I was thinking, I found this road, I think it's the same roadmap, David, that you just laminated. There, yes. I think we should have this on our website.
Is that the one with all the sections?
Yeah, in the first map
Yeah.
here, I don't know, let's see when this was.
So just the one big one of the township, not all the subsequent,
No, I think we should just have this,
that entire
yep,
link?
sure.
Yeah.
I think it would help. You'd be surprised if people don't understand. Where does Scio Township begin and where does Scio Township end?
Yeah.
It's a nice drive,
What?
going around Scio Township.
Tell you, there's pockets that you just drive around. I had no idea that this stuff was around here.
Yeah.
This is really, really interesting.
Yeah, we have a very beautiful township.
We really do. We really, really
And then we
do.
have Jackson Road, it's like so opposite, it's like,
Yeah, but there's,
it's okay,
can I take a?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
okay.
This makes it look small, you know what I mean?
Yes, yeah.
It kind of makes it look kind of tight.
So that's actually an interesting point. We've got the hyperlink on the website. Will it allow people to Zoom? Well, I mean, what will the quality of the
Yeah,
Zoom be,
yeah,
or
yeah.
will it just be all blurry and?
Yeah.
Or what?
if we add the map to the township website for
We could
roads,
just,
will it be zoomable? Will you be able to
hmm, yeah, we
increase?
should be able to.
Depends where the source data comes from. If it's in a
Pixelated,
PDF, it
yeah.
might be good already, you know.
Yeah, well, Mary Gillis she's been working on our website. We'll leave it to her. She's been pretty good about noticing issues. Okay, so this, are we ready to move on? We are on G1, road and culvert prioritization inventory list, which we just already kind of
Mhm.
talked about.
But like the pacer in there and everything.
Yeah, so here's the. Oh my gosh, where did that come from? That is the culvert map.
It is.
I found it on my computer somewhere, that's right. But this is not updated. Because some of these have already been, replaced.
This one's a nightmare to read.
Yeah, this one's,
It's usually in the Washtenaw County Road Commission annual report that they send out. That's, 20 pages of interesting every year.
The annual report,
But I couldn't find last year's, so we'll have to wait perhaps for the
You'd have to
report to get the updated culvert map
That's.
to show what was worked on this year and what's still outstanding.
Yeah.
There were 2 or 3 culverts that were orphans that needed attention, but I don't even remember specifically what they were.
yeah, so that, well, there's. Okay, for example, see number 17?
We can't read the numbers, but where is it on the map?
No, this would be the culvert.
the
Yeah.
culvert map, yeah.
The culvert map, so 17, that's the Park Road, that's Stabler and Park,
Okay.
Trail Woods developers taking care of that, so. And then the one on West Delhi, that was replaced this year, and the one on Knight Road. Was
Night Road didn't get
replaced.
done this year.
It wasn't,
There's no work on Night Road this year.
so there's where's the culvert? Well, it doesn't give, you can't, doesn't say, but they didn't do that.
In fact, I specifically
5.
talked to Adam Lape about it, and he said there was actually only a small section that was gonna be done and it hadn't been done yet.
Did he say when?
No, I got pulled away. Teed up.
All right, well, let's put the Knight Road culvert on our list for looking at the end of the year.
Well, yeah, because we paid for that. And then what about West Delhi? Well, you live on East Delhi. Do you drive West Delhi at all?
Sometimes, but not when they were doing the culvert.
They did do the
I have
culvert.
no idea.
Oh,
I don't. Oh, I drive east and West Delhi pretty often and
so this
I
would
don't
have
even
been,
see it on the map.
South or Miller?
Yeah, I don't see it on the map
That's the,
either.
that's the
Yeah, it's
culvert
not
you
even-
and I went to, Ian.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
Has it been?
It's
improved
West
that year?
Delhi, but you've got to go over Miller Road.
It's south. of
Oh, so it's on the other
Yeah, yeah.
side. Oh, got it. Oh, okay,
So what
that's
would
it.
That is the one that we looked at.
So that's the red circle?
Uh,
Is that the red circle?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
All right, well, let's put,
we
okay,
didn't
so
think it
number
was that bad.
17
right.
and number 6.
it was corrugated, galvanized
Mhm.
steel, wasn't it?
okay, and then I have to look up the,
We'll have to go look
the
again.
agreement, yeah.
We'll look again.
Take
It looks
a look.
new.
Yeah,
then we
please
know
let
it's
us
not.
know.
Okay.
uh,
So the red dot ones on the culvert map were the ones that we're gonna have work done.
That were really bad.
Scheduled to have work done.
They're poor condition. Yeah, so the one, you can see the number 12. Or I guess it's 12-inch, it's not 12.
That's Park Road.
Yes, that will be next year, because that's gonna be a major. And it's the most expensive, so that's why, well, at least that's what they told us, why they were holding off on that one.
But number 12, you think is scheduled by the county and will likely show up in the 2025 road agreement.
Well, yes, yes. Mhm. But I know that we paid. We paid for those other two. Okay, I'll look into it.
Yeah, the culverts aren't listed on the 2024 road agreement.
Well,
Not
they,
here, it was a separate agreement.
yeah, I'm trying to remember when we approved that because it wasn't ARPA fund. It was ARPA funds, but through, remember the grant? There was a grant that we had applied for and it was like the 11th hour and we were able to get that in. It was the second grant, the first, because we missed the deadline for the first grant. They said, try for the second grant. And we got that in and we were approved for those 3 culverts. So for those 3 culverts, I think the township's paying like $50,000 and the grant is gonna cover the rest. So it was a great opportunity. But they said that they were going to do 2 this year, Knight and West Delhi, and then the Park Road next year. Okay, I'll look into it. I don't wanna say more about it right now, because my mind is like, So the 2025 road project list. And I don't know how at least we can begin working on it now. And we do have road commission wants it as early as possible, then they can go over it, and if things need to be changed, we're gonna have this back and forth with the agreement. So if we can start or have an Excel file or something to begin with some roads that we think.
Well, we have Roy's spreadsheet that breaks out the 2025 suggested maintenance and roads.
Yeah, that was for only connector roads though.
It's a start.
Yeah. And so we can look at the connector roads.
So for point of reference for David and Caroline, so every year, if you open up that tab, that's the 2024 Scio Township Road Agreement. The township gets a proposed list from the county. And the county's road commission says, okay, these are the roads, this is what it looks like the costs are. We, the road commission, will match X amount, and it's usually $100,000 plus, if the township will pay the balance. Typically, this comes in February, early March from the road commission, and the Scio Township annual budget is due April 1, be passed. So it's almost right on top of trying to get it into the budget. So what we're trying to do is both lead the roads we want and try and find out things like culverts that we thought we paid for already this year and didn't get done, to help them remember, and make sure that the township allocates enough funds to pay for the roads we're trying to get done, so we don't lose the matching funds from the Washita County Road Commission. There were road years in the early 2020s that no work was done and no grants were given or matching funds were given. And that's a poor use.
So this information that the road commission gives us is their assessment of roads that need work in 2025? Their list.
They work off of that PACER
Right.
program that Roy alluded to, and they have many components as to how they choose the roads. The question is, do we agree with everything they've got, or are there some that we think?
So they're saying, here's what we think. Okay, you guys, now's your time. Speak now or forever hold your peace kind of stuff.
But it's
Yeah.
very, very quick, especially when we only meet once a month, which is why we try and give them some roads coming in.
So that's why this thing that we're talking about, this project is gonna be really good because we can be a step ahead. So that when they say, here's your list, we say, okay, we got our data right here. And we can turn around quickly to say, our response.
They don't really look at neighborhood roads, I don't believe.
They're looking, I think, at traffic volume.
Yeah. I'm looking for the spreadsheet. Oh, here. This one,
So things like Delhi Court this year was suggested by the township. The road commission never would have suggested that one. Cause it's a neighborhood road, for example.
There's a limited amount of funds.
Yeah. Okay.
um. Smaller. Ooh, too small. Okay. Well, this 23-24. It's so like, oh, this is not the right one.
Yeah, make sure you're using use this one, because there's the other one.
I want to look at the history. Oh, here, 2000. This one has 2014. When the township wide began. And then there's yeah, you can see I was in 2018 or 19. There's nothing listed.
There's a couple of years there where nothing happened. The township board didn't push it.
I think that was around when our committee broke up for whatever reason.
Oh,
And so nothing happened for a couple of years.
right.
Could have been right after Roy's wife was killed. I mean, not Roy's, Lou's wife was killed.
Okay. Now it's too small. How do I get this to? Jeez.
This goes back to Caroline's point,
Yeah.
the spreadsheet, which will not be counted. Well, it's just a really
I think
it's
it's
a great spreadsheet, but it's too wide to put on a computer.
You can hide columns.
Well, but we need the columns to see which,
What are you trying to do?
well,
I mean, you've got a little zoom bar down here.
Trying to get
Yeah, I
to the
know, that's what I was-
You can
2025
also hit
improvements.
this button,
stop it.
do this.
Okay, so what we want to go over to the 2020 there. It's 24, I can't, the green is really.
Want a bit bigger?
So what we want to see is, so in 2024, we had, these are just the connector roads, right?
Park Liberties. Not all of them.
So we need to pick some of these roads from the connector road list that need to have improvements, that have had improvements in the past, but to keep up on those for sure, because they have the most traffic. And then we can look at other roads, other neighborhood roads, like for example, have you ever been to the neighborhood off Huron River Drive? It's I want to say Pine View or Pine Crest is Pine View?
Yeah, the one that goes up by the railway track.
The turnoff is right before Wagner.
No, it's almost to Dexter, up in the,
Oh,
yeah,
across from
yeah,
Dexter
yeah, on
Huron
the right
Metro
hand-
Park.
On the right hand side.
Right.
Across from Dexter Huron Metro Park,
yes.
on the other side, yeah.
Yeah, so
I've never
there's,
been up there.
I have.
yeah, it's really nice back there. So but it's hilly and they have gravel roads and I don't think they've ever had anything done. So I was thinking about them, Roseland Drive, so Craig. Okay, there's North Maple and then there's Craig and then there's Blueberry Lane, Rose Drive.
It's kind of up
Oh,
in
and you
that
know what?
Park Ridge neighborhood,
Yeah.
but it's in the upper edge of the Park Ridge neighborhood. Yeah, it's heavily treed and it's an absolute lunar
It's
landscape.
pretty rough, isn't it? And
It
it's
has-
yeah.
it's got drainage type
It's
issue.
got drainage issues and it's got tree canopy issues.
And Park Ridge. Because remember, they were trying to have, get a SAD to have it paved, but they never had any work done on that. Park Ridge would be a good one. It's super long.
It's a mile, I think.
Is it a mile?
Yeah, I think so.
Seems longer.
Yeah.
Keep going.
It's because it's.
Yeah.
But I thought, what did we do here? Park Ridge Drive? I thought they were gonna.
That was right as you come off of
Make,
Wagner Road, Hartford, Laurentide.
I thought Maple and Laurentide, that was really rough and broken up. That was,
That's right.
right,
That will
that's
be,
done.
no, they're starting this week, the repaving.
It's a this year though.
But then
Yes, it's
Park
this year.
Ridge Drive is also on here.
Well, that's where, the pavement comes from, well, doesn't look like pavement anymore, but it will. From North Maple, Laurentide, and then part of it is paved on Park Ridge. So that's why they,
Oh. So it's not the gravel portion of Park Ridge.
no.
Okay.
It's a complicated street to think through how you're gonna attack it. So you got.
So sort of the last piece that you can guess about what's going to be happening is the Washtenaw County Road Commission Scio Pacer map that they put out every year in that annual report that I can't find. But I did find the Pacer map, and they have, like the culvert map that Jillian just had, red, yellow, and green. You know, critical, fair, and fine.
But we have that in the packet here.
Yes, so,
Yeah.
yeah, you go to the Washtenaw County Scio Pacer map and you look at the 2024 agreement, can sort of start to see that there's a lot more roads that need work than what we can fit into any one year, so we're trying to group them so that we can get our best amount of money.
We've also talked about the need to take care of different segments as
But,
well.
yeah, not just in the zone of the township.
Spread the wealth.
Which is sort of what Jillian was saying about the subdivision that's way out. Almost to Dexter. It's in the zone that hasn't really been touched.
Let's say, seems like there's a lot more, just have to scroll up here, Okay, and so in 2024, we need to, in this, Excel sheet update where Tubbs and Stein were, re-gravelled. It says we need to, yeah, and some of these are paved in this list. And we probably should check out some paved, maybe do a paved road every year, and if we could too. Or plan for the future regarding paved roads, but we would have to visit. Tubbs and Stein were, and then there's that little bit of Craig Road from Wagner. It's a dead end. And that is terrible in there. And Adam had mentioned that we need to talk to the residents on that little road because some trees are gonna have to be replaced. They are growing like right on the side of the road. But, I mean, even for a gravel uplift, they would have to have some trim.
He alluded that that was a organized citizenry who were not really excited about having certain improvements done to their road.
Yeah, but they need to have a gravel uplift. It is. There was a pothole that was so big, they could have put fish in there. Awful. Okay, so do you want to add some roads to a list now, or do you want to wait till November? I mean, we're beginning the conversation here.
Why don't we all keep our eyes open this month as we're driving? The concept of trying to do something in the different quadrants of the township is valuable. I think the idea of trying to choose a paved road. There are many. How much money, how much length of road do we have money to hope for? Because if we do one large project, then there will be less small projects.
Well, yeah, but we were able to do Park Ridge Drive and Laurentide Drive repaving.
But we have no ARPA funds this year, so it's gotta come out of the general fund. There is no
Well,
millage.
How much do we,
So that would be over half of the total. We've got 500,000.
Yeah.
Which lower time would be over half.
so remember, we'll have 500,000
Right, no, I'm just
and
saying,
we were able to,
we were able to do that, but that was over half. We need to think about that as well. Do you want to spend that much money on one project?
it depends on,
Project.
yeah, it depends on how bad it is, because we can't.
Mhm.
And we were able to do quite a few roads
Yeah.
this year, even though, I mean, it came to 672,000. And with the local matching funds, which really aren't matching, but came to 538,000. So it's 100,000, 138,000 more than what we supposedly have.
I'm surprised how many roads, looking at the Pacer map in the southeast quadrant. I mean,
There's
that's
a
like
lot.
super dense as far as.
Well, they're just really, it's poor soil there. So the roads really don't hold up and they get a lot of crap.
The proximity to Ann Arbor-ish.
Yeah, but those are also HOAs. So is your road, in the uplands, those are public?
Yes.
And what about the ravines and Meadowinds? Are those public?
I don't know, they were built significantly later. So there might be in that box of stuff she's looking through for, ones that were done after 2014 and are now private. I know that the longest of those is, Chris's sub is a private, that's Hometown Village.
Hometown Village, yes.
That's a
Okay.
private. I think maybe the ravines and the Meadowwinds are probably public.
Mm.
And then there's a couple of other subs there that are private, I'm certain are private. So it's a mix.
Okay, and then look on, there on Liberty. South, or I mean, west of Wagner, and there's a little red blob.
Are you looking at the Pacer map?
Yes, and I think that may be,
And I'm sorry, where are you looking, Jillian?
so you see, in the southeast corner.
Oh, this little,
Yeah, and then there's Wagner there and then Liberty. And there's a red blob. And I'm thinking,
between Knight and Wagner.
yeah, I think that may be Westview Way.
Yeah,
No,
And-
Westview is at the top of the hill.
Well, what is that then?
Yeah.
Is it Bandera?
Here.
is the,
Oh,
Yeah.
Westview Way. that's,
right here, it would be,
that's a
yeah, it would be
private-
right there.
Private road, isn't it?
I don't, what does it say?
It doesn't. It's private.
Which roads, can you see the names of the roads?
Oh, my gosh. That can't be right. It's,
Mhm.
I just predicted Westview Way. Westview Way is at the top of the hill opposite Saginaw Woods.
Oh, yeah.
They just repaved that or topped it last year.
that is Liberty, though. I don't know what that would be. This map,
Again, it doesn't zoom in very well, so it's.
Is it,
I think it is Westview Way.
okay, well, Westview
It kind of
Way,
looks like a bit of a Y, it's coming down and then it splits at the bottom. And Westview Way kind of looks a bit like that.
Yeah, it
with the
looks
two
kinda like-
roundabouts.
All right, well, then
Okay,
this is
little-
loops on, but then there's another tiny cul-de-sac to the east side of that.
Yeah, whoever did this used a pen or something. But-
Well, Westview Way was redone last summer.
Right, they had a special assessment.
So maybe
have
this
it
pacer
paid.
map's out of date.
I think Jillian even mentioned that, oh no, the culvert map. Is there a date on the pacer? No.
No,
Yeah, it's from 1902. Why there's only a few roads up here.
All right, well, I
Okay.
was trying to find the updated Pacer map on the Washtenaw County website.
Maybe that's
The
another,
question is, yes, it's. there's
David, would you be open to asking them about an updated pacer,
Absolutely.
please, and also an updated culvert map?
And also a,
Updated culvert map,
The latest and the greatest.
yeah. Okay, well, if anybody's in the northeast corner, northwest corner, check out Pine View neighborhood right off of Huron River Drive.
I think I'm gonna be in that neck of the woods too.
Yeah, well, so far we've got Craig Road, that dead end, the Park Ridge.
Oh, and if we have money left over from this agreement, this 2024 agreement, they will be doing Park Ridge.
That's
That
right,
was,
that's
but
right, depending on how it goes
Yeah.
at Laurentine.
we'll see. So I'm sorry, Craig Road,
Craig Road dead end, you said,
Wagner, the one off of Wagner.
yeah, and Park Ridge, and then we were talking about the culverts, but that's a separate.
Yeah, I don't think we'll be doing that this year, but we
So-
still need to for the future.
Let's look around and see. I like the idea of your neighborhood up in the northwest quadrant so that we try and spread the love a little bit, but I'm not sure what. the
Which
volume
neighborhood
is.
was that one? What neighborhood?
Pine View.
Oh, okay, I'm gonna be actually going into Dexter tomorrow and
Oh.
I can go here on River Drive and detour into there very, very easily.
Okay, what about,
Put it on my calendar already.
Is it west of Z or where's? Pine
Yes,
View?
yes,
It's
west,
west of-
towards Dexter, the village, or the city of Dexter.
this is crazy, trying to look at this thing. And,
East and west Pine View.
yeah, we need an updated map because they have Dino Drive on here. I mean, it hasn't been done yet, but it will be.
I tried to find it on the Washtenaw County Road Commission website, and I couldn't find it.
So Pine View's gravel, right?
Oh, yeah,
So it won't be on the Pacer map then.
right, that's right, because these are just paved.
Okay. I will drive it,
They're not all paved though.
I'll drive
What
it
is this
tomorrow.
one?
Okay, well, we'll start there and.
Comes off Z right here. Now, there's an east and west Pine View, by the way.
Mhm. Yeah, it
Pine
makes us.
View and then branches
Now
out
it's a
and
loop.
goes in a circle.
So it makes a circle,
Yeah.
looks like.
But it's got a bit that goes straight ahead as well.
Carolyn?
Yeah,
I
and
would
it,
be-
what? Crosses like a little brook or river or something?
Do you have Google Maps up?
Yeah, I do.
I'm just.
Oh,
looking
okay,
for
yeah,
this
so it's got that little extra loop. Okay, yeah, I'll drive the whole thing.
Down here.
Does
can
go-
imagine.
Does go up and down. It's hilly.
And is that Morrison Drive? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm on Dexter Ann Arbor Road,
We did Merlin.
in between Scio Road and the city of Dexter.
So you're back to the pager map now?
Yeah, I think that. I don't know what it says, but
Right.
right here,
Or Morrison off of Dexter and Arbor Road, that it's not colored in at all?
well, David, I don't think this helps.
She needs her bifocals.
I got trifocals, that would help.
It's right, yeah, right here, this.
If you're looking at the pager map,
I'm pretty certain it says Morrison. Road.
What are you looking for? Because it's easy on.
It's Morrison Road.
It is
I
more,
know, I'm just trying to help Jillian.
If you just spread it.
I already got it.
yeah, so it's off Dexter and Arbor Road.
right,
You'll
Past
see,
that.
you see Scio Road.
mm-hmm,
It would
Morrison
be
Road.
east of Scio Road, or west, I'm sorry, west of Scio Road. And it's just one,
little spur.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Morrison.
There's another
Yeah, it
one
is.
that's shorter called Lock Highland Drive.
Right,
No, that's
but that's not on
private.
the pager map.
Alright.
And Morrison doesn't have a color.
They haven't identified it. But is it dirt? And that's why.
It is gravel. Yeah, and then there's some private neighborhoods back up
So
the hill and whatnot,
it's
but
just,
There is?
right here.
Off of Morris.
is that red?
Pretty
That
nice
says
private
Morrison.
neighborhood.
Okay,
Is it red?
no, there's nothing there.
It's gravel, so it's not.
That's why it's not. Okay. Dexter Ann Arbor. All right, so let's.
You see, block loading drive, side country. line.
Yeah, and then,
Dexter Ann Arbor.
okay, then
Other roads, okay, oh, okay.
if you look and then,
Side road.
So right here, this area here.
Oh, this is Morrison.
This is.
So you have Morrison, Oxbow, River Street. I think,
Expo is private.
oh, it is? I mean, I know that there's like a lot of like ooh la la Tony houses that are supposed to be built or are built or whatever back there, right? Okay. Is it actual subdivision? Does that include Morrison Drive?
It's off Morrison. So you have to take Morrison all the way back.
To get to it.
Yeah.
So there's Morrison and then it splits off to Bridgerton Hills or Bridgewood Hills. And then River Street. So. Does Morrison become part of the subdivision?
No.
Okay.
Then if you look up, there's Zeeb Road, just north of 94, and that neighborhood back there, there's quite a few red roads.
Quite a few.
Pretty much the whole block. There's some
Oh,
green in
this
there.
here? Yeah. Pratt. Oh, okay, that's
Yeah,
like
those-
Wing Drive and.
Yeah, those are all paved in there. And we'll have to drive in there and see how poor. Yeah, and actually, all of these,
That was a surprising neighborhood. I drove through there 2 years ago. Thought, I had no idea this stuff was back here.
Well, they're just old enough now that all the roads are family.
It's interesting that some of the roads are green and some of the roads are red. So they must have had some work done in there at a certain point.
They did.
yeah, Wing Drive had a special assessment. I think that was the
They were
first.
the first special assessment.
I don't know what that other green road is.
Yeah, because Wing is not in too bad of shape. I just was on Wing about a week ago. I don't recall it being like, oh my gosh,
And that was the very first one that was done.
very first one, like ever,
Without the
ever.
SAD. Well, that old committee did.
Ah, oh, I see, okay, yeah.
Okay, yeah, if you're out and about, take your pacer map with you. And if you see
I mean, this grainy
Nothing's gonna
thing,
help.
this grainy thing here.
Yes, that would be the
We'll just
one.
wait for David to send us a new one.
yeah,
I think
updated. 'cause there's
Yeah,
one-
I think that,
Pacer map, culvert map.
Yes.
He's on it.
I'm on it.
If you ask the right people, I'm sure they can provide them easily. I just cannot find it on their website.
Yeah.
Look, I've looked low. All right,
Okay,
so the other thing I was trying to cram into new business was everybody think about what schedule we want to use for next year, 2025. So December, first Wednesday in December is the 4th, and that's pretty easy. But the first Wednesday in January is the 1st. Yeah, it's gonna work. So that's the only real conflict I see in 2025,
Well-
other than July 2 is typically a little tricky with people traveling, but it's a Wednesday.
and
the first year.
also election days, even that, we have to keep those in mind. Now, we may not have elections next year, but there could, a special
Elections
election
are not
could pop
usually
up.
on Wednesdays though, but if it's.
No, but if it's on a Tuesday, then that
Yes,
affects.
for the following Wednesday, so that could be August 6th, which is the first Wednesday in August.
So are we going back to January first?
Well, yeah, let's look
Are
at
you gonna
January
put that?
1st.
Yeah,
Or,
January 8th.
So it needs to be January 8th, because January 1st.
It's New Year's Day,
Not going to
everything's closed, yeah?
Yeah,
Well,
February 5.
let's see how dedicated we are.
not that day.
Not that dedicated.
Well, we
They
can't
can
meet
go
in the
here.
Scio Township Hall, so.
Yeah, it's a hall shut.
Feb
Are you
5,
gonna, we can
Hey,
host
I
it at
have
your
these.
house.
March 5.
Okay, so January 8th.
Yeah.
2020, okay. Let's go to
February 5th,
Yep.
March 5th.
oh, wait a minute, wait, hold on. February 5th is good. March 5th. is
April
good.
2.
April 2. May 7.
May 7th, that should be okay.
June 4. So what's the feeling about meeting the 4th of July week? 4th of July is a Friday. Can we meet on the Tuesday or the Wednesday before 4th of July, or is that we'd like to put it a week further into the month?
Yeah, let's just do July 8th.
I don't care.
July 9.
July
9.
9th. Yeah, well, Ian will be on vacation anyway, so he doesn't care. And that's the
August.
thing, we could miss because that's our slow
Don't know
time.
about that.
July and August are slow.
August 6th, you're right, maybe a election.
On a Wednesday?
They,
No,
they
it-
have an election on a Tuesday. They don't like to have us in here. on
Oh, I
Wednesdays.
see.
This room for ballots.
I mean, we could just schedule it for the 13th, just to be safe, so we don't have to go. It'll just be I'll
Yeah.
put the whole year into Granicus and then
I vote for
don't.
that.
Okay,
So August 13.
I will.
September 3, where does that put us for the holiday for them?
I won't be able to make either of those.
Now,
Okay, let's
what
change
are
it
we
then.
talking about now?
August 13th and September 3rd.
so when is Labor Day? For 20.
Looks like the 1st. Red.
Looks like, yeah, September 1.
September 1 this year.
Well, why don't we make it the 10th then?
September 10.
Would you be able to join us on the?
Hmm?
Would you be able to join us on the 10th? Perfect. For that.
All right, so October 1. November 5.
Well, let's,
September.
There probably is gonna be an election in November, yeah? Isn't there gonna be,
25.
no millage,
26.
no millage?
well, unless it's a special, yeah, usually we don't
Okay,
do villages on off years.
okay.
And then December 3. Which
So-
is early enough.
So do you want to keep it November 5th? Or should we
So
do the 12th?
Tenth, yeah.
It's bonfire night, it's Guy Fawkes night. Remember.
Oh, then we don't want it
November.
on that day,
We
because
won't be doing anything,
no,
no. Bring fireworks and then I can get a permit and
yeah. All right, and then December 3rd?
Wait a minute, party at your house? I just around the corner.
not on a Wednesday. maybe the weekend before.
Okay, here we go.
Hey, I'm around the corner. If I hear fireworks at your place and I'm not invited,
Nothing to do with me.
all right.
You're not allowed to do fireworks.
So
Alright.
December, what did we decide?
Third.
So November 5,
3,
And December 3.
November 5, December 3,
Okay.
October 1,
yeah.
September 10th.
August 13th.
Oh, that's your birthday. That's
Bingo.
right.
That's
Is
why
it
I
your
said
birthday?
That's why I said I'm not doing it. And September 3rd is it's Dash's birthday, so I'm like,
It's not working for you this time.
that's all right, you can miss me. July 9th,
Do we want to keep the meeting at the same time?
yeah,
Works for me.
I'm fine with 6:30.
Right? I just,
Yeah, no, it's good to talk about this. And in the policies, I will change the schedule to create the calendar in October, since Christie's kind of on us to do it this month. Yeah. Instead of November. Just, and I'm not sure if the board needs to approve this, but they do need to make sure that our dates aren't falling on other committees.
it really goes to Christie and then she will tell you
Yeah.
if it doesn't work for her.
Yep.
Well, that was easy. Okay. All in, we need to have a motion to adopt this?
I don't know. I don't think
Should I
so.
move we adopt them just in case?
Just to, you know,
Patrick moves that we adopt the 2025 dates and I'll second.
All in
Favor?
favor?
I,
Aye. Oppose? No?
Okay.
Wait, you said nay. You were kidding though.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
So we need to do the September minutes still.
yes. Yeah, September minutes. Patrick, you had brought something up
Yeah.
a long time ago.
Yeah.
Don't remember what it was.
And what I was on my mind. Oh, this is the the DDA, sorry.
Okay, Bob, could you include the chair, the vice chair, and the secretaries in your minutes, please? So when we have people that read them or have never been to a road advisory committee, then they'll know who is who,
Okay,
please.
in parentheses next to the name.
Sure.
On a happy note, we have elections for positions in November's meeting. And I don't know if Patrick and Bob are gonna be willing to be secretaries again or not, so contemplate other contributions for November's meeting.
Yeah, and if you're absent, you get assigned.
Well, no, but in our new policies, if you're absent more than twice during the year, we have a discussion.
3 times.
Is it 3 times?
So Jillian, what I brought up was, we've got in here towards the bottom. RAC members voted affirmatively to place David on RAC. And my question was, can we do that or we just recommend it to the board and then the board approves it? So
Yeah.
that was the question.
How about, we voted to recommend, yeah,
Change the word place to the word recommend.
to the Board of Trustees. And the recommendation, the nomination did go on the consent agenda and nobody pulled it, so
Here we are.
they may not even know that you're here if they haven't read the.
But a lot of other people noticed, so it's
That's right.
okay.
Absolutely. Your fan base is large compared to Rusty.
yeah, really?
we've yet to corrupt him.
And I think that was it, right?
Well, the other was the date of the DTA meeting, I think was not 9/4.
Oh,
It was 9:13, I think.
no, it couldn't have been because 9/11 was a Wednesday. It had to be,
It's 9/9, it
was it 9/9?
was a Monday, right? So it's 9.
Monday.
Must have been 9:09. I remember, 'cause I wrote the minutes. The minutes.
So it is 9/9?
So it just went from your brain through your fingers and then didn't stick.
Yeah, I was there, I wrote minutes, I don't remember.
It is 9/9, yeah,
9/9.
yep. Okay. Okay. A motion to approve the minutes, or are there more changes? We're good?
So moved.
Second,
And third?
third, fourth, fifth.
There's no money involved, so, all, all in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposition? None. Great.
Don't say nay.
So there's, included the attachment, oh, yes, so reports. If you haven't heard, our manager had resigned on, her last day was September 15th. So the board approved to have an interim manager committee. With Christy Aiken as our, we're not calling her the township interim manager, but she has more power than what she had before, more responsibilities. So anybody that has questions goes through her. And then if she can't answer, then she'll send you to the appropriate person. So she has broader scope. She's been sitting in on the management meetings, the attorney meetings. She's been doing a lot. She's been doing a great job. So then there's other tasks that have been divvied up between certain members of the board. And for example, it's in here. I know my responsibilities, not so much everybody else's at this point. So the utilities department is under me. So the utility director and I, he reports to me, and then any issues I take it to the board, that type of thing. And this is just temporary until we figure out what we're going to do with the permanent manager position. There is a committee, it's on the board, will be on the board packet for next Tuesday. There's a committee that will be created to review the manager job description, the scope of their duties, and other aspects to the manager position, or some other alternative. But it's in the works and it's gonna take some time. The job description needs to be revamped. We do have a job description in our ordinance, but somebody copied and pasted the superintendent job from a charter township. And it's not all bad, but it's a lot for one person. And then there's other job descriptions that have been created. So they're just looking at the different aspects of that. So I just wanted to let you know, because it is important for committees to know who to go to, just in case.
Oh, congratulations, Christie.
Have you reached out to Rowley, see if he'd want to come back under you?
No, he's working for the state tax commission. Or not the tax commission, the Department of Treasury.
Is he enjoying it?
Yes. I know.
Dang.
I have not reached out to him yet. Over the past couple of years, I've had emails with him, but I mean, just about different things. But yeah, he would be awesome. No, I think he has a
Ask
pretty,
him, you know?
yeah, I think, but yeah, we can ask, but I think he has a pretty cushy job with the state. And we may need him.
Yeah, but the bureaucracy, he's probably like
Yeah,
fed
the
up with the
commute.
bureaucracy.
Where is he living?
He lives in Alma, outside of Mount Pleasant, so however long it takes to Lansing, or maybe he's in an office that's, up there. But,
It's like, it's a good drive to Alma from here.
oh, from here, yeah.
Yeah.
And he had sticker shock when he was looking for houses here.
Can we use him part-time or? And we all like him, right?
Oh, yeah.
Professional, he
We,
knew what he was doing and now his nemesis is gone. Anyway, just a thought.
doesn't hurt to ask. I think I heard.
Okay, I'll put it on my list, but I would like to reach out to him anyway, because,
You can tell him the road advisory committee has to.
okay.
It's good hearing.
Okay, well, I think that's, unless there's anything else regarding reports. Okay. Yeah, public comments.
That's fine.
Paula took off, so.
Rob, I see a hand is raised, Mr. Patterson.
I second the motion to ask David Rowley to come back. Oh, that was brilliant. I just took a little drive on Google down Dexter Ann Arbor, and from Zeeb to about West Delhi is the boxes are on the south side, and then from West Delhi to the highway bridge, they're on the north side. So for the post office to say, well, we can't change it because it, we'd have to double the route, blah, blah, blah. They already have a double route on Dexter Ann Arbor because the way they've arranged the mailboxes. So that might be a point of negotiation with them. And then lastly, Bob Groden, I am so grateful for your wisdom on this board. Once again, you come through with flying colors, talking about Jackson Road and the businesses on the dead end roads that are using those roads. The most egregious example of that is the trucking company that has a distribution complex at the end of Dino Drive and tears up Dino Drive and then refuses to have any input on paying for repaving it. Your wisdom on that whole issue, I sincerely appreciate and completely agree with you. So thank you for that. And well done tonight. As usual, you guys are making progress and we're getting closer and closer to getting policies, procedures established. So very well done.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Rob.
Rob.
The postmaster that you would consult then would be the Ann Arbor postmaster.
Yeah,
But then that's, he probably is on Stadium, the
Yes.
post office on Stadium.
yeah, and I,
It's a she, yeah, on the
Yeah.
stadium.
Oh, it is, okay.
yeah, I've heard the name, it's a different name. So I don't remember it, but I know who we can talk with.
So-
Mary Gillis knows the name and how to reach them.
But it seems to me that probably what Linda was talking about, having that kind of this data to go to her. The same kind of data that you go to state police with. Would be probably helpful to have some backing of data like that when somebody approached her to say. What do you think?
Well, here's two
Okay, and
citizens who've requested assistance with.
Yeah, I mean, that's a start, but that's only two. And what happened?
Yeah.
But if we could get the accident report or the history. Traffic history report,
Yeah.
that would be even more helpful.
Traffic study.
Not this study,
She's
the
trying to
from
find
the sheriff's
department, see how many have
Sheriff's
actually been
Department
there.
and NFP, and we should say police to see the history of incidents and accidents.
We should be able to. Actually, I'll have Christie.
There's a website where you can find that info. I used it on the when they were trying to pave East Delhi.
Oh,
I found something, but I don't know where.
well,
They did during that aborted SAD, there were little wires that somebody put stuff, some kind of ticker counters out there.
Yeah.
Well,
But
that's
I
different.
found I found police accident.
Yeah.
Because
Oh.
one of the claims was that there was a accident black spot. So I went, looked and found data and
What do you mean an accident black spot? What does that mean?
a particular location where there's propensity for accidents. That was one of the claims for the pave. And I found a website that had all the crash reports and was able to disprove that statement.
Well, they weren't exactly, you know,
They
data, they were just kind of.
decided to pick with the wrong people, didn't they?
What time? do you
Yeah.
have?
8:42.
Bingo.
8:42. All right, is there a
You got
motion?
one
to
more
adjourn?
hand up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
Pam, yeah, we,
No problem, because I was ready to say, okay, let's adjourn. But Jared Lavina is very, very active in with his neighbors, and I bet if you all asked him, did a coordinated effort, that he could get a lot of the neighbors to write letters to central person at the post office to ask for this change. So I think if you involved the residents in that area, you'd along with your plans, that would help. Thank you. And
That's
let's
good.
adjourn.
Thank you, Pam.
Was it Carmelo or
it sounds right.
Orlando?
8:43.
8:43.
Uh,
Motion to adjourn?
I actually,
Oh,
so
oh, sorry.
we were talking about Wing, sorry, we were
No,
talking
it's
about
okay.
Wing Drive. I was just looking again
Yeah.
through Lou's notes. And that was 2009. That's when
Okay,
that one was done.
so put that on your history list.
I've got, that document, that's the one that you sent me, yeah.
Oh,
Got that,
okay.
yeah.
Oh, it's in that document.
Yeah, it's in the packet, but I have it, Linda sent it to me 2 months
We were
ago.
talking about this at the last meeting and that's why I shot it
Yeah,
over
you
to
sent that to me, so yeah.
Oh, and then that's what I put into the packet?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That very last piece of,
the Lou Kidder things you
the
might. wanna know.
history,
Yeah.
yeah, on the agenda, yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, I have that.
Great. Awesome. Thank you. Okay.
8:44.
Okay.
A motion to adjourn.
Second. Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, anybody opposed? No, we have to say that.
My dogs are crossing their legs right now, so.
Oh, thank you. This is fun. I really enjoy our committee.
Is there any way that one